here in the 9 News Weather Center. Last day of 2018, and we finally got some snow in Denver. It's coming down outside right now. So I just wanted to hop on and kind of talk to you about the forecast, because I know that while today might not be a big work day, there could be a lot of people who are traveling. Maybe you have loved ones who are coming into town, and then it is going to get really, really cold through the overnight. So we're going to talk about how cold and how you can stay safe in that cold, because it is dangerously cold what we're talking about tonight. So first, let's start with your radar. Show you what's happening right now. The snow got a little bit of a late start this morning, but then within about 5-10 minutes, it was all over the Front Range, which was kind of a cool way to see with that upslope flow that we had happening there. And I'm going to do my best. I'm kind of pulling up my iPad. I've got it right here to try and answer all of your questions. So if you have any, feel free to leave them there, and I'll try and help you get wherever you're going to go safely today. So you can see we've got some light snow that's coming down for the northern Front Range, but really we've got snow from the top of Colorado all the way down I-25 to Trinidad. So definitely seeing that snow kind of continuing, and this will be off and on throughout the day, and then finally by a little bit later on this evening and just about midnight we'll wrap things up. But let me just go ahead and zoom in here. You can see that really the northern part of the state going to get the least amount of snow. So maybe up to an inch if you're lucky, a couple of inches in some spots toward the foothills. You can see when it's that bright white color, that's when we're dealing with some of that lighter snow that's coming down. We get down in toward Denver, which is where I am here in the 9 News studio. I can look out. The snow is pretty light right now, but it was coming down almost sideways earlier with that wind too. So you can see when we start to see some of that purple in there when we're looking at HC Doppler, that indicates some heavier snowfall. And you can really see that when we travel a bit farther south toward Colorado Springs. You can see that we've got some heavy, moderate to heavy snow that's falling there, and then even farther south as well. A little bit of snow that's falling in the high country right now. Right now it looks like it's over Eagle, near Glenwood Springs, Meeker, over parts of the western slope there. But really we're going to see this focus in on the northern Front Range for today, and then for southern Colorado when we're talking about tomorrow. So I do want to show you, we've got a couple of snow reports that have come in. And so far, we're pretty on track for our forecast. Let's see. So this one is in Estes Park, an inch of snow there. Okay. An inch of snow in Boulder right now, still coming down there. Another inch, 1.1 in Boulder. And then some of the higher totals that I've seen, looks like Georgetown's still at about an inch, but once you get into Evergreen, 2.4 inches there. And with some of those foothill spots, we could see 3 up towards 6 inches by the time we're done today. So these are just our first round of totals that are coming in from the National Weather Service near Aspen Park, 2.1 inches reported there. So really helpful to see. Oop. I'm going to turn down. I just turned up myself, so I'm hearing myself in 2 places. Okay, now I can see your questions. Oh, everyone's saying Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of you as well. I love getting some snow for New Year's Eve. It's kind of fun, especially if you don't have to travel anywhere. So here's when all is said and done, what we're looking at for those snow totals. And again, really light snow that's continuing to fall here as we go throughout the rest of today. 2 to 4 inches sounds pretty good for Denver. I'm going to err on the lower side of that, especially when we're looking at the immediate metro area, with some higher totals when you head farther south toward Castle Rock and then up into those foothills. That's where I think we've got the best chance at seeing some actual good snow, up over 6 inches in some areas. And then of course north of Denver, not a whole lot when we're looking at here. For southern Colorado though, as this storm continues to shift south, which it will, we've got winter storm warnings in effect until 5 p.m. on Tuesday. So that gives you a good idea all the way through tonight, and then tomorrow southern Colorado is going to hit hard. By the time it hits those mountains, it's really going to intensify. And look at that, some spots could see 2 feet of snow. We could see up toward 14 inches when we're near Cortez, Durango. So in the mountain areas, that's when we're looking at definitely the highest totals. But this is really, really good news. And let me tell you why. Southwestern Colorado, not just in an extreme to exceptional drought, they are. Some of the worst drought conditions in the entire country are right here in our state. Our snowpack this year, it's doing really well in northern Colorado. We've had an awesome start. The ski resorts are loving it. Southwestern Colorado, it's been a little bit slower. In fact, it's at about 60 to 70% of normal. Oh, I'm hearing from some of you. Oh, Joe in Grand Junction says over 6 inches there already. Maryland, just a skiff in Brighton this morning. Nothing for 3 hours. Just cold. Pat, I know we do need this moisture. Absolutely. Appreciate all of your reports. And by the way, I don't want to tell anyone to go outside in this because it's so miserable. But if you have a picture that you want to send in, weather@9news.com, you can also throw it on our Facebook page and just make sure you mention that we have permission to use it on 9 News and 9news.com. So winter weather advisories, we've got a whole lot across the state. This just means that we're looking at difficult travel travel condition. And I don't know, I'd love to hear from some of you if you've been driving today. I drove into work and that's about it. And I was skidding through, not through stop signs, but having a little bit of trouble stopping my car. And I've got the all-wheel drive, the good snow tires. So it's just one of those days where it's really tough on the roads. So hopefully you don't have to travel too much. James got a little bit in Thornton. Always appreciate your reports there. Let's take a live look at some of our places that we have. Got the Boulder camera, about an inch there so far, still coming down pretty light. And then looking outside of our 9 News office here. And it's tough. You can barely see the flags. I know my little screen here is kind of blocking it, but it looks like cars are moving along pretty nicely. So that's good news, but definitely fresh snow on the roads, a little slick in some spots. Okay, we've talked about the snow and I'll circle back. If you have any questions, let me know. Let's talk about the cold because that almost might be the bigger story here as we head into 2019. So our temperatures right now have been slowly dropping throughout the day. So typically we hit our daytime high as we get into the afternoon. Not the case for today. We actually hit it overnight with a cold front that reached right about 4 a.m. And this is a really cold one, bringing in some Arctic cold air. And so that means our temperatures are going to continue dropping pretty much all day long. So by the time the sun goes down, it's going to be looking like single digits for a good chunk of the Front Range. You can see we're close to that in some spots. Castle Rock at 10 degrees right now, Centennial at 11 degrees. And then you factor in the wind. Here's your wind chill map. Oh, yes, it is so cold outside. It feels like 3 below in Denver. It's felt like it's sub-zero pretty much all day long. Feels like 2 below in Greeley. Then you get up into the high country and actually faring a little bit better there. We don't quite have as strong of winds. So let me show you our wind gust map and check in. Check in on some of you. Oh, more happy New Year's. Steffi says 15 below wind chill in Cheyenne. Yeah, so cold. And so with the wind chill, you'll notice we don't have as much wind in the mountains. However, once you get into Colorado Springs right now, 40 miles per hour. We've got near 40 miles per hour up in Akron as well, so over the eastern plains. But the National Weather Service, they actually just expanded our wind chill advisory. And so what this means is earlier this morning, we were just looking at mainly the biggest impact out over the eastern plains where we had the strongest winds to go along with those cold temperatures. However, it's been expanded to include Denver. So with the wind chill advisory, that means that wind chill could get down to about 20 below zero. And what that means is if you're outside for about 30 minutes and you've got exposed skin, that is cold enough that you could get frostbite. So keep that in mind. I know we probably don't have a lot of people planning to spend a ton of time outside overnight tonight, but of course it is New Year's. We'll probably have people walking from place to place in downtown or maybe throughout your neighborhood as well, hopefully walking or taking an Uber or Lyft. Please don't drink and drive tonight, but just keep in mind that you need to be properly bundled. And also, don't forget about our pets. You don't want to leave dogs outside. They are susceptible to seeing that too. I know sometimes we think, oh, they've got this great fur coat, they'll be fine. 20 below wind chill is serious business, and it is dangerous enough that we could see injuries or even deaths with that. So just make sure you're bringing your dogs in. April says you're still going to church. Oh, I love it. And Greg says burr. Yeah, that's about how I feel right now as well. And I know we had someone in here from Cheyenne. Maybe we have a couple people watching from Wyoming. There are a couple of spots. You can see the little areas shaded in pink. We're looking this way. It's different from the green screen. That's where we have the wind chill warning, so down to 20 to even 40 below zero with that wind chill, and that means frostbite in just a matter of minutes. So keep that in mind for tonight. I know that we like to joke. It's Colorado. We can handle the cold. We know what we're doing. These are some dangerous numbers that we're talking about, so it's important to take it seriously and to remind our friends and family to take it seriously as well. So we've got New Year's Eve tonight, and it looks like that light snow will continue really fading away as we head into later on tonight, but really wrapping up right before midnight. Post midnight, I think we're going to see some clearing, and that'll really allow those temperatures to drop very, very quickly. Dusty again said, bring your pets inside. Absolutely. That's what we need to be doing tonight. Bring them all inside. Even if they're outdoor dogs, you think they can handle it, just bring them in. It's definitely going to be a very, very cold overnight. Speaking of those overnight lows, okay, so I know that there's a little bit of a range here, and so what happens is a lot of this auto-populates, and then we actually go in and we can adjust it. But Denver, we've got at 5 below zero by the time you're waking up tomorrow morning, 0 in lots of spots, Fort Collins down to 2 below, and then I do think that when we're looking at Greeley, we're talking 11 degrees below zero, so very, very cold. And these are your air temperatures, keep in mind. That's not factoring in the wind. That wind chill is going to be 10 to 20 below all night long, and then as you're waking up tomorrow as well. And we are going to stay cold for the first day of 2019. Here's that 7-day forecast you can see for Tuesday, 18 degrees. Just to put that in kind of perspective, once we look at our average daytime highs for this time of year, mid-40s. So that's quite a bit colder than where we should be. And then waking up Wednesday morning, still cold, but we're going to see sunshine and actually bringing those temperatures back up into the upper 30s. And then once we get past this, if you're a snow lover, we don't have a lot in the forecast past today. This is about it, which is kind of a bummer for Denver. We are way, way behind when it comes to snow. I don't have the exact number, but I know as of about a week or two ago, we were 10 inches below where we should be for the season. So I bet we're closer to 12, maybe even higher than that, where we should be have more snow than what we've seen. So it's good that we're getting it in the mountains. That helps our snowpack, which in turn helps our drought, and of course our ski industry, people who love the outdoors and love spending time in the mountains. Amanda says Colorado Springs is getting no snow. Let's hop on back over. For anyone who's just joining us, we are just talking snow and cold and all things weather for the last day of 2018 and the first day of 2019. Interesting to hear Colorado Springs isn't getting any snow. It's showing that you're getting a little bit right now. But it's always good to hear because sometimes what's showing up on radar isn't what's actually showing up on the ground, which is why you guys are so awesome in that way. Very light snow falling in East Aurora, but it's a white New Year's Eve. Stay safe. Absolutely. I hope you all stay safe as well. Will there be snow on St. Patrick's Day? Dusty. Killing me. You're killing me. Can barely make it through the week. All right. Very cold in Fort Morgan. Dumping in Levada. Is it Levada or Levita? Levada. That's one that I kind of go back and forth on. So definitely let me know. Who was that I just butchered the name of? Carol, if you're still watching, Levada or Levita, let me know. Okay, so we do have some light snow that's coming down just in the immediate Denver metro area. You can see where we get the spots where it's purple, that's where it's heavier. But right now, even when I'm looking outside here at the 9 News studios here in downtown Denver, we're just not seeing a whole lot of anything. They're very, very small flakes, but it is certainly cold outside so far today, and temperatures only going to get colder. Those lighter totals are definitely going to be in the northern part of the state, and that's where we've got just some real light flurries that have been coming down there. And then we've got some good snow, looks like south of Colorado Springs. You keep traveling down I-25. Man, I hope no one has to travel up and down I-25 today because you are running into snow the whole way that you're going. A little bit of snow falling in the high country too, so good news for skiers there, and they've got a little less wind. We did get some snow reports that have been coming in. I don't think I got this one earlier. Let's see here. This is 1.5 inches in Black Forest. So these come in from the National Weather Service. They can show up on our weather maps, which is very helpful as we're trying to figure out where we're getting that snow. 2.1 inches near Aspen Park. So definitely the higher totals have been in the southwestern foothills, which is exactly where we were expecting them to. Right around 2.5 inches in Evergreen as well. Boulder, we're at about an inch. Bless you. And then Georgetown, just about an inch of snow there so far. Snowing pretty good here in my part of Centennial. Light snow in South Aurora. Cold as heck. Yep, that's a perfect way to explain it. 1.1 inches in Congress Park. John, thank you. Always appreciate hearing from people and what they're actually seeing outside. We are going to see the snow continue off and on throughout the rest of today. So you might get some periods where there's a little bit of a break, and then finally this should all wrap up by about midnight for the Front Range, and then it will travel south, and that's where we could see some really incredible totals. But when all is said and done for the Front Range, 2 to 4 inches sounds pretty good for Denver. I'm going to err on the lower end of that, probably closer toward 2 inches. Of course, some spots could definitely get up toward 4, but the better chance for seeing those higher totals are going to be farther south. We're talking toward Castle Rock and then into the foothills when we're heading south and west of Denver, barely up toward an inch. Again, if you're lucky, when we're looking a little bit closer toward Fort Collins. Southwestern Colorado, this is a good news storm for you. Look at all of that snow in the forecast. This is bad news for travelers. Not going to be easy if you do have to travel later tonight and then throughout the day on Tuesday. However, when we're looking at it from a climate standpoint, this is really good news because we've got extreme to exceptional drought conditions. The worst drought conditions in the country are in this part of the state right now, and we are looking at 2 feet of snow potentially in some of those higher mountain peaks. Snowing pretty good in Eagle. Ooh, love to hear that. And Ernest says hello from Missouri. Ooh, I saw that Missouri, you guys were getting some tornadoes. So hopefully you're not in some of the spots where you're dealing with that tonight. We've got people joining us from Las Vegas. I should zoom out and show you because if you do have any friends or family who are traveling, we've got a major storm system that is moving across the Midwest. So look at that. And including, I believe this is, let me see, severe thunderstorm watch or tornado watch. Let's see what we're dealing with here. This is a tornado watch. So this is when we're looking from Jackson up through Nashville. So any friends or family who are living in that area, it might not be a bad idea to check in with them and just remind them to pop in with their local media. And then, of course, look at all of this rain and snow that's coming to the Midwest right now, Chicago, Cleveland. So any traveling that way or coming this way, there might be some delays. So we'll keep watching. We've got Jeff just east of Fort Collins. Just a few flurries there. Snowing in Greeley from Brianna. Probably pretty light when we're looking at the northern part of the state. I like that. Just a few flurries trying to spit out so far. No problems. I like hearing that. So just be safe on the roads today. If you have any other questions or if you have any weather pictures, comments, or concerns, weather@9news.com. You can send it our way. I'll do my best to be here for the next couple of hours. So I'll be answering those for you. We want to make sure that you have a safe New Year's Eve and start to New Year's Day. So keep in mind, roads are going to be slick today. That snow continuing to fall pretty much throughout the rest of today, and then finally wrapping up as we head in toward about midnight. And then for tomorrow, very, very cold, sub-zero temperatures, wind chill advisories out from Denver all the way toward the eastern plains into parts of Wyoming as well. So that means you need to bundle yourself up, and don't forget about your pets at all. Bring your animals inside, because when it's 20 below wind chill, that's dangerous for even pets as well. So thanks for joining us, everyone. I hope you have a happy and safe New Year's Eve.